All right, Mike. I mean, Larry.
Well, we've got the last two full-time hires. They're scheduled for the academy in March. Everybody here, is they're at least pre-certified, but they're the only two that are not. Everybody else is academy trained. Other than that, we're still waiting on the phone system. They put one of the switches in, which is already paid for. CAD system, we're waiting on them to update that. Are you good with talk about pay, or you want to do that later?
I'll go ahead, whatever you want to do.
Y'all, we've got to raise the pay. We've advertised now for 3 or 4 days. Nobody's applying. We can't compete with these other counties. The workers we've got, we're working them to death. We had 3 out here last week with COVID. It was a pretty long week. We've lost another full-time one, which to get competitive, the money has to come up. The starting pay is at $12.50. I think it needs to be $13. I really do. After the academy with the contract, they'll get a $1 raise. After 6 months of full time, they get a 50-cent raise. You've got them at least $14.50 then. Now, if we could hire somebody that's already academy trained, we could start them at 14. Telling you that the ones we got, they're getting wore out. Estill County gave their workers a $2 an hour raise this last week. Keep in mind, 2 of the girls is from Estill County that are driving over here. And Tish is the trainer. And Tish has not asked for anything like that to stay here. She stayed here through the holidays. Kevin brought her a bed in here because we were short-handed. She stayed here around the clock through the holidays to make sure this place was covered.
And during the last week, they sounded off.
They still work.
They still work.
They tried as hard as they could to find out that no voice. I mean, we can't be. I think with the savings that this place has had over the last year, the compliance that it is now, I'm not asking for everybody here, especially myself. I'm not asking for anything, but I think the ones that are here that these last group hired, I think we need to take them to the 13 versus the 12.50, and 2 of these supervisors that have went far and beyond to keep them. I think they need $1 on the hour for them. Not me. I'm asking for these 2 girls that are supervisors, and Justin's a salary. He's really worked hard himself here the last little bit because he's had an issue with his flooring at home. He's worked around the clock as well. I save mine on the book. I don't get any extra. I can tell you I've got about 348 hours of call time myself. We're going to keep these workers. We're not going to be a revolving door because it's going to happen. Winchester's over 20, Mount Sterling. Well, we budgeted, myself and Connie did, for 8 people, not including me and Justin, for the amount of $282,000. We've used $100,522, leaves $181,477 on paper. We should get an increase in the 911 fees because, as I told you before,
paper versus the bank?
Well, it's money in the bank. So,
It does, and everything back the same.
well,
we held it
not
down.
necessarily. Well,
We just go on the paper.
Yeah, well, but I get with Connie.
They don't pay you.
I get with Connie and let her know. I mean, we had it down to 60 some hours of overtime. The payroll's bigger this time because they had the holiday. Each full-time employee, except for me and Justin, had 32 hours of holiday, 2 Christmas and 2 New Year's. We take hours off, we work it, we just save it up. Anytime you all want to view it, there's a book in here. You can compare it to the CADs. If it's going to function, I'll tell you what it takes to run it. I've been here a year. You see what you had
You
in,
say that, you saved the bunch.
you see what you paid out the year before, I'm gonna say that, and you see what you paid out this year. I'm not sure me and Justin can do it without these girls in here. I'm just gonna say that. And they've asked for nothing. I mean, they haven't. I feel we're obligated to show appreciation. I really am. You've got some other employees that were title holders that never lost any, when the titles was taken away from them, never lost any pay. That's prior to January of 23. We've had one off on medical leave. Hopefully he comes back in February. And they've still made this work where I show Mike every time I bring the time up. You're not nowhere near paying the overtime you paid before with a handful of people.
Well, and that being said too, is December last year, you know, you had part-time people working 80 hours. Okay.
I mean December of 22.
Yeah, December 22. Had part-time people working 80 hours a paycheck, and then they were working another 80 hours overtime, and you know, then part-time.
You had people that made $10 an hour, made $40,000 out of here that year. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. And so far, what, last year you saved $30-some thousand on overtime?
We was 2,001 hour under. No, we saved right at $40,000 in just overtime. That was overtime. That was with Social Security. All of those figures put in place in a calendar year. And you all, I manage it. I do. The savings is because of these workers. You know,
How far are we on with the cities to put in?
well, I've told Kevin and now what I want is
We're going in March.
we've been doing it, but I want a monthly printout of what it costs to run this place here. The utilities, the water, electric, which we're gonna get rid of a bunch of phone lines. And it's not like Stanton has more calls than Clay City, it's like Clay City has more. Justin can pull the numbers, or Tish can pull the numbers. It's a overall, so it's not like, well, maybe Clay City paid for one salary, Stanton two. It needs to divide.
I think the last time I looked at it, on my runs, Stanton was 6-7% more than Clay City, but that's cause
Nursing home runs. And we code everything out of here, the transfer from Clark Regional, and go Mount Sterling back is 56 Atkinson Street. So that's where you're getting your higher numbers. Your last ambulance number was for the year 23 was, yeah. Your fire department numbers, I gave those to you.
Yeah, they around 500 some per department.
Just saying, if you want to function in dispatch center, and you ain't got no free time, and I can train you a little bit, I suggest we help these people. Because in today's world, it's about money. I mean, it really is, and they're operating, they're
But you gotta have it to pay.
we do.
Well, and
To me,
that's,
it's talking they, in all reality, they should be paying fire departments and EMS and dispatch.
Without dispatch, you won't have a fire department, you won't know about extra phone
Didn't
calls.
years ago, didn't the fire departments get insurance money for runs?
They do if they will.
well, if it's a structure, if it's a working structure fire, then they get $500.
All better wreck, worse than roads done. That's what we used to haul it all down there.
No, we don't do that.
It's
Places-
very seldom you get any money out of it.
Yeah, you're, and even working structure fires, it's hard because, you know, where the insurance companies pays this, insurance,
I think what he's saying
surcharge.
about they used to pay firefighters for the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a lump sum, but
Yeah, as far as paying the firefighters' calls, all of the county run money goes back in.
$24 a person.
10, yeah, it went from 5 to 10, but now then, all that goes back into the fire department to buy equipment, to, you know, partially
it's
pay
up
for
to fire
trucks.
department, they won't give them, they can.
Yeah.
It's up to them, it's up to the chief.
But,
Most places, they don't.
but the cities and counties, we get insurance surcharge premium. And that's where the budget's coming out of that, so.
What if they don't have money, then you don't do nothing, right?
Mhm.
I mean, if they don't have insurance, I guess.
No, we don't charge it. We don't charge it. But, you know, one thing that bring back on the budget, you know, the budget, you know, anytime we do the budget, that's a guesstimation. That's a guesstimation for what we may bring in and stuff, it's not exact. And, you know,
I guess what I'm
If it-
trying to
if
make
it's-
sure we get worse, that we don't pay for run part of them, they get an allotment now.
yeah, we give, the county gives $20,000 a year.
Okay, that's what,
And,
there's not a per
and that's,
run.
no, that's, and basically on $20,000, it's not, we just give it to them, say, here you go, here's your $20,000.
They got
We,
worried about paying their bills, right?
whenever, well, no, they bring the, receipts into Connie.
Yeah, I mean,
And Connie pays the bills,
Okay.
yeah.
And, you know, I may add, we've got the bill presented where, you know, they're in session now for the, class funding for our dispatcher. That'll be statewide. If that passes, you know, that'll help a little bit, but
But back, let me back up real quick while I'm thinking about this. On, you know, like I said, on the paper versus money we have in the bank, you know, it looks good on paper, but if we don't have the money in the bank to back it up.
If it's short, everything comes from the general fund.
Yeah.
Whether it's whatever department.
General fund can't stand much.
You know, and the thing about
Right,
it
yeah,
is,
that's what keeps us going. is the general fund.
this past year, and I'll say, this past year, we've played a lot of catch up. A lot of things that we had to buy, as far as, paid, we've upped the hourly rate of the employees. They were $10 an hour, and now they're $12.50, and the jail's $13 an hour. And, you know, we've bought a new truck, well, not a new truck, 2021 for the road department. We've replaced the radio system and a lot of things we've done that's, you know, nickel and dime on the debt. And it's turned out to be hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've had to do. You know, next year, whenever CSAP closes out, what do you think? 500,000?
I was going to talk about that in a minute, but I'll be happy to talk about it now. Just the dispatch portion is about the EOC portion is about 7,000 just for the electric, the water bill, even though we're going to reduce the phone some, it's not going to be reduced. The maintenance on the HVAC, the maintenance on the building itself is around $7,000 a month. That's $84,000 a year. And then you take EM, you have to pay the EM director, whether it's me or somebody else. You're talking about another, whatever the fiscal court teams, which you're talking about $270,000 to $280,000 a year to run the radios and all this other stuff. Because you can't wait for 6 or 7 years and spend $1 million on a radio system. You need to plan for the radio system now. And if you divide that, you divide $1 million times 10 years, it's going to be $100,000 a year just for the radio system. And then you've got mobile systems you have to worry about. And so yeah, it's about $270,000 a year. This time next year,
But
we won't be talking about it. We will be doing closeout.
That's just for dispatch.
Yeah, $7,000 a month is just dispatch.
And the thing about it is, you know, you just purchased, 4 computers for, ambulance service?
Yeah, EMT.
And
No, I haven't even touched. That's $1 billion project by itself.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, is everything,
Lucas, the
You know,
stretchers, all of that stuff.
$25,000 stretchers and $34,000 monitors and $18,000 Lucases.
Yeah, and that's where the 270 comes in, because in the 270, if you budgeted 270 a year, you could get one Lucas, you can get one Striker, and you can rotate those over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, CSAP is just replenishing them, refurbishing them, replacing them as needed. That's done. No more projects. And as far as the communication systems, we got probably a solid 5 years out of them, but that doesn't mean we don't have maintenance. That's $22,000, $23,000 a year, and that hasn't went up in 6 or 7 years. He has to drive all the way from Cincinnati. If we don't take him, the closest other guy is in London, Kentucky, so he has to drive too. They're going to charge. So things are going up. That's the reason why we come up with $7,000 a month just for the dispatch portion. Then you got the ambulance and you got EM, emergency management, that didn't even touch the siren systems. There's so many small pieces that if the county or the city cities don't help a little bit, I don't see how the county, based on what I've seen in the budget, we just don't have the money.
We can't, we
And
can't
grants,
survive without the help.
and grants, we'll be at the bottom of the bucket when it comes to grants because we've got so much money from CSEP. When they're changing people over to P25s, that's who's gonna get money. When they're getting people like Wolf County or Lee County up to par on their ambulance services, that's who's gonna get the money. Powell County is gonna be a lower on the list to get some of those things. The only thing we're gonna be getting money on is the SAR team, which hopefully the urban rescue will help out tremendously on the SAR aspect. But as far as EMS and emergency management, this time next year,
Is there any talk of a program to replace CSIP, like?
no. We have talked and talked and talked. What they're gonna do is they're gonna provide transition assistance for employees.
Okay.
They have no talk about transitional assistance for governments, as far as how do we ease you off the subsidies that you've had for 30 years. Yeah, and that ain't, I mean, we've actually talked about that. As far as employees goes, there are a lot of opportunities opening up over at Avon and places like that, that they're looking to bring in more industry, and we will be higher on the list for that. KYEM is offering positions, area managers and things like that, so is FEMA, Rigid Forward Headquarters, and all the different regions around the nation. There's a lot of jobs for people, but as far as, again, we've specifically been told that when we apply for grants, our equipment will be too new, we'll have to wait, and we'll be back in the same boat we were 30 years ago. We'll be so far down that rabbit hole that it'll be a Band-Aid. I guess so. That help any?
Yeah. Sorry.
I said that same speech,
30 years ago?
when did I quit? 2000. That's one reason I quit. Good, because no one would listen, so you need to start planning for it, then. And automatically, I got thrown on the bus because I was wanting to raise taxes.
Well, see, that's just it. Taxes, fees, you call it what you want to.
Yeah.
For our society to be a good community with high interest from our tourism and enticing industry, we have to have infrastructure.
Yeah. And we can get into that all night tonight as far as.
That's a whole budget.
Yeah, as far as, our goals and stuff like that, and based upon what I've seen, that, here in the past, it's like it was living by day, and you have to have a short-term interest, middle-term interest, 5-year interest, an outlook of what we're gonna be at in 10 years. And
Among all that,
that's-
they have never been nothing, nobody sit down and done anything.
And that's where it's gonna change, because we are. I'll shut up right now. Let me shut up until it's my turn, then I'll finish with Larry. So,
Like I say, it's, if you want to keep what you've got, with no phone calls going down there, help them. If you don't,
He asked a question, do we have the money to afford that 50 cents?
and I don't know if you've got the money to afford it, it's in the money, because, to be honest with you, it's been so jacked up in the past, they cut all the monies off. Last February, it was nothing. I mean, when you've got it under the authority of Sam Catron of Pulaski County Sheriff, I don't know what to tell you, I really don't.
Well, I mean, going forward.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Will we have the money if we decided to do as you asked? Can we afford
Probably
it?
not, other than the general fund, unless you're gonna pull some kind of funds that's gonna fund this. I mean, or it's an emergency services tax. Estill County's just like this county. However, Estill County over, they have a dispatcher. Since CSEP's been there, it's been paid around the clock by CSEP. Paid a dispatcher 24/7, 365. So that's been a salary. You always had a trained person there. I can't tell you how much trained person here. If another break of COVID comes out here, I can tell you that 20 hours was a long shift in here the Christmas night. I mean,
and that's where we have to get it, I don't want to say aggressive, but we have to stress to both Clay City and Stanton that they're going to have to put up some money.
Can't we, do like we done now, just summons the mayors and the council here to fiscal court meeting?
We've been down there, Jay, and told them, well, you know what.
Yeah, they've been warned.
Right.
Well, advised, I shouldn't say warned.
No, I mean, we probably need to ask them to appear here, or we're gonna, has a.
Well, I was planning on March. March is whenever they start their budget cycle. And, you know, we were gonna go down and talk to them in March, and because it needs to start now. It don't need to start, after the budget year.
No, I guess going forward, the things that we need to do, you guys, Nathan, even fire department, whatever, everybody involved in this, needs to start having the figures for last year. How he got where this place is supporting all these 8 different parts of the county and the city.
What about this, Larry? We start off $13 an hour and do away with the 50-cent raise after 6 months because
That's in the policy procedure.
they change it. I mean, because EMTs, 13, Jill, everybody's at 13 right now. 8 from one department kind of get ahead of the rest of them. I can all the
I
same.
understand it. The only thing about it is, you don't need an ambulance service for a police department.
Y'all are 1250.
Yeah, you don't need an ambulance service for a police department, you can get a dispatch, they don't even make an ambulance call. Right now, you call another county, put them on standby, or you can call Eddie for free labor. And Nathan, I'm sure he's salary free labor, we can get an ambulance.
You want to pay for it?
Yeah, but if you ain't got that person to answer the phone, I'm telling you, this little girl sitting right there's not even canopy trained, 2 people's done died on the phone and they're giving CPR instructions. I'm
not arguing against you.
I understand, I totally understand. I can tell you what it takes to make the run. Y'all more welcome to come sit any shift you want to, volunteer your time, we'll get you telephone CPR trained. And
Well, the main thing is we don't want to lose what we gained.
that's exactly what it is, because and you know, I'm not bashing people. We started out in the dirt here. Yeah, we did. We started out in the dirt, and you've got these kind of people.
Well, January 2023, you had 1 certified person.
This man right here,
That man right there.
You know
1
why he
certified
had?
dispatcher.
because he kept up with his own training.
That's it. Now then, we have
Everybody.
everybody
Two were
that's trained,
pre-certified.
and 2 of them pre-certified. So after they go to the academy, everybody's
Yeah,
gonna be
they're academy
certified.
trained.
Well, I mean, we have a trainer now to help.
Oh, wait,
you.
it is trained, and that's why I say, a part-time person, I can't even, tomorrow, I can't hire a full-time person. Because of House Bill 373, we had a girl full-time, you all approved it. They found out at that academy, they made us kick her back to full-time, or part-time, because she went through phase 2. This ain't hire today, and then start tomorrow. Philip Fraser does one of those phases for us free now, because it's such a log to get into. Every angle's been cut, and I'm telling you, we're one bad call away from somebody being in here one a shift, and they're sick like that. And that 911 call up with ambulance. You know, I'll put any of them up against anybody. I really will. You know, I've done this job since September 11th, 98. Done it by myself. They never hire me nobody.
I will say this, you couldn't pay me enough money, George. Simple as that. I've done it one time, and
I'm done.
you know, I'd rather have people shooting at me going to buildings or anything like that than work in there.
You know,
No, I'm being serious.
Telephone CPR, you get that first
You know,
round of instructions.
and for somebody that's, you know, and that's the thing, you know, that they were making $10 an hour, and we did up it to $12.50, and I totally agree. We have to do something. We have to do, because we've advertised and advertised and advertised. Nobody's coming.
We get nothing.
Nobody's
I mean,
coming.
it's too bad we turn the comments off where people say, "Get it, Kroger, you can't."
You can get that at McDonald's.
You can't.
You know, that's the sad thing.
My 16-year-old's got a friend working at McDonald's for 14 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
16-year-old kid.
And look at the responsibility that these people have. You know, they're just like the people out on the street. We have to do something.
I
You
mean,
know, my, you know, and the question, here's the question, where we gonna get the money from?
Okay.
And that
You
is.
know, that's the main thing.
We'll be right at 13 and that ain't enough.
You know, one of the,
It ain't enough, Chad, it's not enough, but it's that little appreciation. You know, January 1 come here, there was cords all over this floor, there was trash. They wouldn't even clean the carpet, and these people were stuck with us. I'm not asking for mirror, you know, I'm asking for what they're doing in there.
I will say this, you know, if we have to take it out of the general fund, if we have to take it, you know, even if we have to steal it, you know, we have to do something.
Rob has a good idea.
What's that?
I'll be honest with you, a lot of my ideas come from Rob, he's managed one of those places.
Rob Sharp, he says, well, you're part of the county Utah. So, what he was thinking about is like, your tourism. You know, 1% out, you can't use none of it, even though it.
I've talked to the governor's office about that, and that takes a change of legislation on it. And the thing.
Because how much money we spend in first responders, including dispatch,
I
people come to this county.
totally agree, and that was my argument, is, you know, we have over 1 million people, people that come through our county, that stays in our county, and they use our resources. They use our police, they use our fire, they use our EMS, the search and rescue, and our dispatch. And, you know, I asked myself, why can't we use some of that money? Can't. Legislation says that you can't. Well, what happens if a person calls a quit? Who they're going to call? Dispatch, they're going to call search and rescue. Then they're going to call ambulance. What if somebody gets robbed? Somebody gets shot? You know, anything. We'll call the police. They're going to, you know, they're going to utilize that. Fire department, you know, they're going to utilize all this. So why can't they take some of that money? He said they can change the legislation.
And just like the other day.
And that comes from the governor's office.
Yeah.
Because
Let's start here, James.
well, that's
I've asked.
Yeah.
I've asked about ABC money because it says, you know, the call comes through here. You know, the other day.
They're actually trying to change some of that to add fire departments and stuff.
And they should.
to the ABC money.
You know, the other day, I can do that job. Hands down. There's no doubt about it. Justin can do that job. But I'm gonna be honest with you. The other day, a man died in Clay City. Here I am with 2 phones going in there on hold, using my cell phone to call Eddie out of a meeting and say, hey, get an ambulance. We were turning over Clark County. We were turning over Montgomery County. Estill County's phone lines was working. Couldn't even call them. Like I say, I've done it there. I know how it runs. Somebody knew in there when that happens, and I went to the bathroom. Justin's went to the bathroom, or the Dairy Queen. When they sue the county up, everybody will get one of them summonses. You know, you get took out of the suit. You know, they feel lowered.
well,
They have approved also a surcharge on water.
on water bill. Well,
I think it's electric bill.
yeah,
It's what city you took.
yeah, it was electric bill that Park Energy and certain individual. It's just Park Energy at all. They wouldn't let do it.
You're going to get the Public Service Commission on board. They're going to approve it.
I know we did water bills at Berkeley.
One of the things, and Estill County does water bills right now, and that's something we're gonna have to look into, because the thing about it is, we as a government cannot cut services, because when we cut services, it's putting our people at risk, you know, and you know, one of the things, and Mitchell, I hope you share that to everybody, because I won't say this, is, you know, there's been times that people's died because we haven't had ambulances. Yeah. You know, the man that he was talking about, you know, he was dead because we didn't have an ambulance. You know, he was probably dead whenever he hit the ground.
Third party call. I mean, you don't know what it knows.
But the thing about it is, you know, we have to provide a good service for our community. And whether it goes to, and you know, I'm here for the people now, whether it goes for a taxing district for our ambulance service to bring in money, or whether we raise taxes, or whatever we do, we have to do something. And the thing about it is, you know, and people, wherever you say taxes, raise taxes and stuff, I'm not for raising taxes, all right? Because guess what? If we raise taxes, guess who has to pay? all of y'all, and guess who else? Me. But if it comes down between a person's life or not getting reelected, I guess I won't get reelected because I'm going to do what's right for our people now. We have to. And you know, that's the way I feel about it. You know, you cannot put a price on a person's life. You can't do that.
And the way these phones work, anywhere from the 10-mile marker to, I'm gonna say, the 40, that call comes here now. Highway 11, Cree Mountain, they come here. Willoughby Town, they come here. Furnace, they're all coming here. Then you gotta try to transfer them. These dispatchers are dispatching to these other counties. They're doing for Clark Energy, calling in just like tonight. I help them. I've got a direct line to call in there, so you don't have to wait on hold at that call center. Delta Gas, Sheriff, Police, Clay City, Stanton, AT&T. We've got a direct number now. I've got it. Call AT&T. Otherwise, you sit on the phone for 30 minutes or an hour. 1 and 2 people cannot do that, you all.
Has there been any more talk about the regional dispatch center been here?
I brought it up to Jacob, the boy that's the Lee County, and you know, he's like, well, the new judge probably would like to keep it. They're trying to get their people certified, you know, non-certified.
Well, I would, if we could, I would love to have some of the public come in. I know we're not allowed to because of security reasons.
If there was Mayor Justin, they can.
But I'd love for people to come up here and just sit an hour or two, just to watch, you know, and not hoping anything bad luck. But if it happens, I hope it happens while they're in there.
I hear y'all's calls when they hit road, chase the problems.
Let me tell you about Sunday morning. I called here, the lady said she couldn't call here. Said that all they had was an app. They called Montgomery County. Said it's an apartment building down on 1 street, said across from Dr. Cecil. One of them girls from Irvin. She don't know who Dr. Cecil was. He's been gone so long. I got here 6:45, 7 o'clock. We were able to pinpoint that down. Finally gets an ambulance down there. The people couldn't call. They had only an app. They could call another person because it was a restricted app. And to be honest with you, back to the mapping. Lakeview Drive in the airport. I'm up all hours day and night. Saturday night a week ago, I heard Kimber take a call and unresponsive, not reading. I called her, said, which one is that? She said, maintenance. That mapping system in there, I'll give you the option. I said, ask them, were they behind Save-A-Lot or are they at Beach Fork? Well, they Save-A-Lot, you know. But now we've got to go to the city council and we've got to beg and bone to say, hey, who wants to give up a street because here's a life. So we're going to get the amount of people live in the airport, the amount of people in Clay City. Who wants to change? Somebody has to. That ordinance says you got to.
All right. Well, we can sit here and all night and discuss about everything, but I guess right now we need to make a decision. You know,
I mean, like I said, I'm here to go over again. I would just, what I ask is, you know, to raise the start for Nobody Academy training, 13, you know, after their 6 months of full time, they get the 50-cent raise. After their 6 months, or after their academy, they get $1. They have a contract.
So that's $2 total.
No, it'd be $1.50. Well, kinda, yeah. Well, if you went with this, and we get back to the part is the money there. Probably not. It's based off of a $15 an hour. Give everybody something to work toward. And you know, and then Kimber and Tish, I'd like to, I mean, they're supervisors. I don't see that a regular employee should be making what a supervisor is and then train them. You know, give them $1 and something for Justin. You know, because I give him the mapping when I come here. He does. It's the only way to give him any extra money. I help him. I don't want that.
Is it still 5? Still 5.
7,500 we had to raise because you know we had put money into it. Bluegrass Sandy, you lost that contract. The $15,000 grant you had was giving away that last for a week because they usually put 0 dots, red dots on the house.
Okay, well over 100 acres is what you do.
And you know, I'm nothing for myself. You know, I just would ask that you know everybody's, and it's pretty much bringing them together. You know, a pay scale. I mean, when 2 supervisors are making less than another employee, They just ain't even feasible. But hey, they're not complaining. They just said, hey, what can you get us? You know? I said, I'll go ask.
And real quick before I forget it, all the department heads here, on the budget, start thinking about what you want. And it's just not, well, I want 3%, I want justification. I want you to justify to me the reason why we're gonna put this in the budget and the reason why we're gonna raise it. You know, just because ain't a reason.
Lee County is 14 now.
So, you know, just start thinking, because we're gonna start meeting in the jail, we're gonna start probably this month or the first of next month. And the rest of them we'll be doing February or March. So, all your department heads, make sure that you got your stuff down and review your budgets and make sure that, your justification's there.
We get ours monthly from Connie, and we
Yeah.
got every receipt, I keep a copy and give Connie every receipt. We don't buy it.
All right, so what do y'all?
Okay, what I'd ask right now is $12.50. Start at, I'd like to raise the starting pay, 13 an hour. After full time, 6 months of full time, you get a 50-cent raise. After completion of the academy, you get $1 raise. You're by contract, you work here for 1 year. If you fail, you pay back from day one that you started. Robert went over the KRS the other day, so even though we have a contract, there's a KRS that we can get everything back. I'd like to bring Kimber up $1 on the hour. I'd like to bring Tish up $1 on the hour. I'm gonna leave Brett where he's at. I'm gonna leave me where I'm at. He will be the fifth. I'm gonna leave. I'd like Justin's salary, but I'd like for him 50 cents to $1 to get and go in his salary base, because and the two new girls in here that are $12.50 raised into the 13 just like a new hire.
So that'd be starting pay 13.
Starting pay, and if we could find an academy trained person, we could pay them 14 an hour, and after they work 6 months, they get a 50-cent raise. You wouldn't be out into training.
I'd be okay with $13 an hour. The rest of it, I'd rather wait until we get our budget meeting and see where we're at financially.
And that's one of the things, again, you know, I keep on butting in on this stuff, is on your department heads, whenever we start thinking about that budget, you know, think about the raises and stuff, because one of the things we don't want to get into is like we're doing right now, is throughout the year, you know, we're doing these little raises and stuff, and it's not in the budget, you know, so,
Maybe what's a paramedic rate starting off? 15 or 15.50.
15 starting off.
$15 an hour paramedic starting off?
That's with 2 years of school when they get that.
Yeah.
But see, another thing, we've done away with power phone. That's fine. What, Cotty, over $5,000 a year, we don't even have that no more. We've done away with the extra money on the CAD system, dish trains, and you know, all of that's gone. No more are you paying that out.
That's 5,000.
It's pretty high number. We've divided it up because I don't want to get into saying who, but somebody else was on the CAD system. The county was getting billed for Clay City and Stanton. Rob's took up for Clay City's now. Stanton's took up paying theirs now, so we no longer pay all of that. Danny's took up paying his. All of that money's no longer coming. You know, it is like business. It's just good management of it.
That's what it takes.
And it is, but, you know, if you ain't got workers, you ain't got business. I mean, it's no Kroger down here. If you ain't gonna make that meat and daily, you throw that meat away, it's in ruin.
Well, I'm gonna say something and put a thing on head, but your guys need a raise, not denying that at all. Jason Randall been here 6 years and he ain't making 14. It's across the board, you know, it's gotta happen.
oh,
How long you been here, Brian?
9 years,
How much you make?
$13.79.
what does it pay that much? No.
Not worth it, but that's what it
Well,
makes.
the only good thing about the 24/48 is your overtime. That's the only way that you can make any money, because, you know, every 2 months, every pay period, 2 out of 3, it's going to be 20 hours overtime. And that's where you can make a little bit of money. You know,
You don't
These
get
guys-
overtime they call you all every day, man.
These-
Ever since I've been here,
These, the bad thing is dispatch don't get the overtime. And granted, yeah, your guys need to pay a
It's
lot
still
more.
an hourly wage.
Yeah.
They still have to be there to put it in.
but ever since I've been here, it's been through every director, it's been pounded into us. Get your log runs done. Cause you ain't the first one there, get your money off top.
Oh, yeah, it's all.
There,
But is it like it? Is it doing it now? Everybody keeping it?
yes, because, and I'll say this, and I know that they hate me over it, but, I have ESO privileges, and every morning I go in, I look at the runs. And I've already disciplined one person over it, and, this year, like we've said, this is a new year, and, it's not gonna be tolerated. This last year, that's trying to get everybody, used to what we want to do and how we want to do it and stuff like that. This year, we're going to implement it, and,
Well,
if it makes somebody mad, I'm sorry, but that's part of our business.
let me ask this, Mike, you've been here that long, over the years, where you get the most complaints from the magistrate? Was it this office right here? How many you had?
I got mine.
You did? Oh, yeah, you was mud, they trained them here to not like
They
you.
come
I'll be
in to me
honest
and I
with
take it to James.
You should
They
have
still
been
like
road
it.
with it. Yeah, but how many of you had this year, in the year 23? Eddie, how many of you had with the judge's office?
None,
You
zero.
have, you had two.
Well, they weren't.
No findings.
Yeah,
Because the minute you
weren't.
call, what do I do?
Yeah, you pull up the log and you pull up the recording.
So, and I'm sure other departments is like that too, you can't reward your good people. I understand. I was here through when Brandon's dad was here, Darren Farmer brought his clothes one day down there. Junior Wright was the man's name from local government. He said you didn't need a jail, you didn't need an ambulance service, you didn't need medical insurance. And Darren said, fellas, who wants to go to jail tonight? He said, if you all don't do a budget, Darren brought his clothes, am I right, Brandon? Yeah. Because it was such bad shape back then. Darren fixed it. Somewhere down the line, we slipped up again, in my opinion.
Yep.
I don't want that to happen again. I don't want you not to have good workers, because
Right.
you're all the ones that get elected, not me. I get hired.
All right.
We'll wait till JL gets back, we'll make a decision.
And don't think that any of them said, hey, we're gonna quit if you don't give us that. They just said, we think we could get more. You think we could get a little help.
But while we're talking here, make sure on your budget, that you have a set rate that you want them at. It's.
And that's why we did it 15, and that way, for the 3% cost of living raise, when it come up, we would still be under budget. Because Connie, when I told her what I thought it took to run this, the number she plugged in. And it's been fine, with.
And that's one thing, Connie does an excellent job at what she does, because I'll come in like 15 minutes late, she's deducting that off my pay. She's mean.
Mitchell's got a scanner. I know you got a scanner. Compare this place to last year's. What's your thoughts, just as a public comment?
It's a lot better. Still needs improvement with the roads and the addresses.
The addresses?
Yeah, people get their numbers on the houses.
And
Oh, you would be driving around in an ambulance
Right here.
at 2 o'clock in the morning and raining.
I hear on
Mitchell,
the,
there's the ordinance. There's a $25 fine for every day it's not. That's up to the police to enforce that, which we're not out here to make anybody pay that. We just want to save that life.
And that's like we was talking about Preach Road. Preach Road, that it goes, probably quarter mile, half mile up.
6871 is that address.
And he lives that far up Creek Road, and his address is 6871 Harbor Street, not Creek Road.
And he
Harbor
looked at Eddie and
Street.
said, well, Larry knows where I
And
am.
then on up from him,
How are you gonna be?
on up from him at Mr. Zing's house, it's like 6984. I don't know exact Harbor Street.
So you got like duplicate addresses on like the actual Harbor Street Road?
Chad, it's off of a road.
Yeah.
I know that, but I mean.
And that's the thing,
Address.
if anybody got toned out to that address, unless they physically drove up to that Creek Road and looked, they would not find them two addresses.
It's like Winchester Road, G&A Trailer Park, 9750. They're right, that's why I want training to people, I want testing. I can't tell you where most people live. But I might not be here to hear that phone ring. And you know, that's the thing, like Mitchell said, these addresses, that's why we have that. You know, it's posted on the website. The real estate agents have been given this, so when they sell a piece of property, I've got with Park Energy, or you get a electrical service, they want a 911 address. And post it. I mean, Justin gives them out when he gives the addresses.
And now it's just not, oh, pick the number you want. You know, beforehand, certainly, that's what a lot of people have told me.
Grace Lane, behind the elementary school down there. I know where it is. Eddie, I know where it is. Nathan will. What about that Patty cadet Nathan hires next week? He'll be sitting there in the middle of the road.
Do y'all know Bowen School? Just as soon as you turn into Bowen School, all the way around there, and come back out, that's County Road.
Really? That you're locking a gate to, folks can't go around.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a lot of the problems that we're finding now is basically people do what they want to do. They've made roads and they've put in addresses. People told them before that they've come up and asked for an address and they'll say, well, where do you live? Well, I live between 200 and 784. They'll say, just pick the number. And you know, that was their justification, just saying, hey, there you go. That's not what happens now, you know, and you know, I'm proud of the people we have working for us. I'm proud of these three. I'm proud of Patrick, Tim, you know, and Kevin, Connie, and all of them, two Kevins, and everything, because they do their job, and and you're always.
I'm bringing it tomorrow, just watch.
They're bringing the county back.
And hey, I'm gonna tell you, that man right there, honestly, every OD that there is, I know what he's doing it for. He can tell you if he wants to. You know, hear you on the radio, he gets a text, he goes, he does his little thing to help the family.
But everybody does their job. Everybody does, like they used to. And I'll shut up. We need to go ahead and get, because people are missing the ball.
But Rob has helped us a lot. Rob has helped us a lot. He managed Bourbon County down there. He brought a lot of things for him.
They were up to 14 down by 2, so.
I don't watch ball games, sorry.
I'll go to 13 and the 15, give Justin some.
Okay, and like I said, I want to figure it in around $1, 50 cents to $1. You all, that's just a window. We go.
He just said something.
No, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't raise Justin, dug up, and then he don't do it.
It's 100%.
Justin, please, tomorrow, I'll give you my notice tomorrow afternoon. I will do it without it.
Let's make a motion, 50 cents. For what we got, everybody. 50 cents.
Yeah, so we'll
Starting at 13.
start at 13, and can I give these other girls in here the $1 that I've asked for them to make them up compatible with another employee that's not a supervisor?
I did it.
Mike, don't ask me questions like that. You gotta go review the files. Connie can show you any file.
But 50 cents now we negotiate in the budget meetings.
I agree.
So instead of $1, give them each 50. The two girls, and I'll give is there Justin has 50 cents too?
Yeah.
That's why I said, everyone 50 cents,
For 75.
and then we go back.
You know, I say, you're open-minded.
I said, everything, everybody 50 cents.
Let's stay at 50 cents.
And
Let's do everything at 50 cents.
then as we progress through this toward closer to the budget, we'll have a little better idea, maybe we can do something else. Let's put a Band-Aid on it. That's all we got is a little service.
Listen, I go in and say, hey, they gave you this, you know what they're gonna do? Thank you. They're gonna say thank everybody, and they're gonna do.
I understand.
I can't believe
We've
it.
got to figure out what the hell we're gonna do, but let's put it, Band-Aid, we're smart people, we got time to figure this out.
I got to pay somebody there. I was doing, I got all the work to work. Connie's saying, I've got one.
You want to tell me the motion?
Mike made the motion.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Mike made a motion for 50 cents.
Across the board.
Across the board. Well, not across the board. I don't want everybody. I don't want one myself. And then I don't want.
Everybody
you-
you.
Yeah, well, no, because I got another one that.
Okay, everybody that's not, that,
Yes. No, let me just give you the names. Would that be better,
Okay,
Tommy?
all right.
Kimber, a 50-cent raise. She's a supervisor. Tish, a 50-cent raise. She's a training supervisor. Now, these two new girls in here, I'll get the 50 cent out of them because they're $12.50, and I'll take them up to the 13 to start. And then after
Any new
they're
hire starts at 13.
any new hire from. I'm not gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it at the start of the pay period. That way it don't mess up.
Put that-
Connie
put that-
and Justin.
Any
Hey.
new hire,
13 to start. If you're academy trained, 14, because you would already have the dollar. And Justin, a 50-cent raise on the dispatch, not mapping.
Justin, is that like, after 6 months, 50% raise, is it automatic or you have to put in for it? How does it work?
It's in the policy.
It's in the policy and procedure.
I
yeah, that's all
evaluate
we
you.
can
Yeah.
say.
I evaluate you. And you test out. And,
Mike made a motion, I'll second.
Okay, Mike made a motion, Chad seconded it, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed likewise? Motion carries, you got that, Karen, Connie?
Yeah.
Tony, I'll make it official as of Friday. That way it don't break you in the.
Next pay period.
Okay, next pay, the start of next pay period.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
All right.